Welcome, everybody. This is the Fall Line with Chaos and Company. And by God, Angelo, we have been off the air way too long with our March, end of February, really, that last week of February, and all of March has been, for me, I know it's middle of April now, but jumping into the greenhouses, end of March into April, it was chaos, man. A good chaos, but definitely chaos that I wasn't home much. I don't think you were.
It was a hectic end.
Whew,
Actually, I'm not even done yet. I'm going to a National Academy on Saturday, one more event.
You got another one to go, man. So hopefully there's still snow out there. I know there's some, but not going to be the greatest of all. Who knows, though? You could get a 4-foot snow dump. Maybe it comes. It's going to come. But hey, we needed to get on here to chat with everybody on our season, reflect on it, even though you got Academy coming up. But reflect on a season. I think it was a pretty cool season. I don't think a lot of folks out there know that. I know you and I do. We reflect on the whole season and start thinking about next year already. We start thinking about before we even finish going, okay, next year on this one, I want to do this. Next year, I want to do that. But yeah, definitely that goal setting, thoughts, how the season went, what went well, what didn't, those kind of things. My feet are almost warming up. I'm not going to complain because the snow was amazing, but my feet still, at least they hurt, but I think they still hurt because of that cold we had.
I think as long as you still have sensation, that's a good sign.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's why I'm like, they're hurting, so there's something there. But oh my God, were they so numb? So numb. I was cranking those boot heaters. I wanted to put like 4 or 5 batteries on each boot because I needed more heat. But oh well, it was good though. Good snow. Yeah. Things were good, and as the season, as we're still rolling, we've got another few months. We got our summer. We don't start new season for the podcast till fall. Usually September, we consider our new season. So we've got a ways to go, but definitely through the winter has been awesome. I mean, my boots were rolling great. Old Nick and the crew over at Nick's Boot Fitting in Vermont next to Mount Snow. Nick does a great job, and I know he's helped a ton of people, and he's a super supporter of the podcast and us. And I just want to throw out a thank you to Nick, and it's awesome to have him on board with us.
He's a good one.
Yes, he is. And Blizzard
didn't
Technica, of course.
I didn't have any boot work done this year, but we hung out with him in the shop for a minute there. And
well, he did say we could put a sign up there, the Chaos and Company hangout. So I got to get Paul to make a sign so we can put it up in the shop, because we'll be hanging there come December, and we're over there for a few weeks at Mount Snow. So, but and Blizzard Technica will be on Blizzard Technica, man. What a great ski company to work with all that crew. And they've done a great job putting us on gear and keeping us out there and supporting the podcast, which is really cool. It's nice to have a sponsor on Helion for the podcast that really loves what we do and believes in what we do, which is cool.
Mm-hmm. No question.
Yeah. And of course, we got a couple different goggle deals, which is, you're down in a different zone there. I know you're on the Sweet Protection for your helmet and goggles. Those guys treat you well. And I've got Smith up here with Rob DiMuccio. Sets me up pretty well. And I just love being able to see. And I did like the new lenses this year. The photochromatic were really cool.
I got more comments on my Sweet Protection helmet and goggle combo than I ever have on a pair of on a setup before.
Cool.
Yeah, it looks nice. It's comfortable. Feels good. The goggle lenses are good. It's no complaints.
It's good to be able to see well.
Yeah, it helps.
It definitely helps.
Especially with this aging bullshit.
Yeah. It's good to see, though, when you were coming down on Ovation in those big bumps with the heel knot lockdown.
I don't know that sometimes it helped being able to see, but given the choice, I'll take it.
Yep. And we got our leaky poles, man. I love those leaky poles. I am a trigger man. Yeah. I'm not a strap man anymore. I like the triggers, love my leaky poles, the swing weight. Those things are cool.
Yeah.
We got to work on somebody's supporting us for bourbon. I know maybe Mr. Lipton can help us there. Maybe Mr. Eric Lipton should just send us a couple of bottles because he wanted us to be drinking more and chatting more on the bourbon on our call here on the old Cask and Company. But sometimes the problem is we've been doing a few of the calls in the morning, which, at 9 a.m., 10 a.m., it's 5 o'clock somewhere, but I don't know if the wife would love that I'm popping out the bourbon at 9 in the morning.
Well, tell her it's medicinal.
Yeah.
So we're sitting here drinking, right? And that's and because nobody knows this but you, me, and Lipton, but he doesn't know we were gonna talk about him tonight. I talked to Eric on the phone like a week ago for a long time. Like I bet it was an hour and a quarter. And I love that dude. He's so smart and funny and observant. And he's so you believe he's reputable. Like he can say things and you believe him because he's usually right. But anyway, he got real quiet and like he had something to tell me and he didn't really want to say it. And I'm like, what is it? And he's like, you and Dave, you kind of turned into dorks.
Oh, man.
I said, what do you mean? He's like, well, you used to swear and drink and it was funny. And then you turned into nerds. And I'm like, oh, fuck, that hurts. So next time you and I spoke, I told you, but we were like, all right, we're going to give into Eric's peer pressure and have drinks on this.
Definitely, man. We started it that way, and we did put the coffee on there. We did put coffee on the old logo just in case, because it's like somebody wants to. But some of those early mornings, we've done quite a few. We've done a few this year, this winter too, of the morning ones. I remember, I think it was last year we did that one. Mr. Rogan, Coach Rogan was on at 6 a.m. out west.
Yeah.
And we were on at 9. I'm like, okay, I can't roll the bourbon out of the beer right now.
Like he's never seen that. Oh, and you're talking about the coffee mug on the logo, right?
Yeah.
On our logo. So that's so it could be this though. We could make this the story. A couple of years ago, I'm at a Mammoth Mountain with Pete Allison. We were out there for fall examiner training, the alignment piece of fall examiner training. And with first day on snow, we get off snow and we're rooming together. I get back to the condo before Pete and I was working on my computer and Pete walks in the condo and he's like, you want a cup of tea? And he's British. So anytime a Brit asks you that, the answer is yes. It wasn't even really a question. He was just letting me know he was making me tea. So I'm sitting there not looking and all of a sudden I hear the cup sit down in front of me and I'm typing away and then I hear gluck, 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 gluck. I look over and he's like pouring all this bourbon into it. And I'm like, oh, so that could be the tea mug on our logo.
There you
Pete's tea mug.
I just have to get the coffee mug out and just do glug, glug, glug. But yeah. Oh man. But we started pretty well. We had a good start to the season. It was a little up and down that first month or so though, until we hit January with snow, but it was like cold weather. We get 3 or 4 days of great skiing and then it would rain.
Yeah.
3 or 4 great days of skiing and rain. But, fall went well, cause boy, what a day, the last day of the Eastern Academy, Summit Academy. That was torrential rain in the afternoon. That wasn't just rain. And, some of that crew that went out and skied the afternoon, a lot of them that were scoring the candidates that were in the level 1 and the level 2 teach. That was pretty impressive getting out there, getting it done that day by all them. But Eastern Academy
I enjoyed my group for that event. And like Thursday night, we're hearing the forecast. A couple of them had a breakthrough. I knew they were going to want to go out. I'm like, all right, and go out. So we skied a bit in that rain, just on snow shed because it was everything was so wet. It was raining so hard. We took some runs, went in, and then it's time to leave. Start the driving home. So I had all my stuff in the snow shed lodge, and I'm like taking it to the truck. Just walking from the snow shed lodge to my truck, I got so wet. I got in my truck. I drove back over to the Grand Summit, pulled under the canopy, got into the back of my truck, dug out a dry pair of pants, ran in to the lobby, went down the steps to the bathroom by the bar. I had to change clothes just from walking from Snowshed to my truck because I just sat there soaked until for the whole drive home. I usually divide my drive home up into chunks, right? So I left Killington and drove like 3 hours. I go south of Albany a little bit for the night. And I finished the drive the next day. And when I'm pulling my stuff out of the truck, I found those jeans that were all soaking wet from walking in the rain. I could still wring them out the next day. That's how wet they were.
Oh man, yeah, it was bombing down, but yeah, that was a great week. I do love that week. That's an awesome educational week, and get to ski with my group every year. The crew is a lot of fun, and it's super fun to get out there for a whole week. The one event we do 5 days to go out and work with a group is super fun. A lot of preps this year, man. I did a lot of preps for assessments, a lot of assessments. Did a bunch of training days, which was cool. I had a tele training day, separate of our regular training. Did an RTD, one of our regional training days with the crew. That was super fun. The snow wasn't great. That was second week of January. Yeah. It rained on that weekend and then froze up. We were at Killington, and Karen Delury was leading it, and it was pretty rock hard. It was super hard. She goes, "Hey, let's go try Highline." I'm like, "Okay, cool." Dude, we went down that, heading towards the K1 Lodge, and oh my God, I thought I needed a mouth guard, and I needed like 4 helmets on, because I was like, if I go down on this, it's going to hurt. But it was loud, and I let's just say the skis were sideways, and it was it slippery. I would have been challenged.
You were accelerating, skis were sideways, and you were gaining speed.
It was a quick run down, and like, thank God we didn't go back up there again. But it was slippery, like we had at the second day of your tryout for dev team. It felt that slippery coming down Highline. I'm like, God.
Was it slippery then? I blocked it out.
Oh God. At least the first day was off. First day was great, man. The first day of the tele assessments and the dev team tryout there for you was the bumps were great, man. Ovation, Superstar. Boy, did they have a mound of snow there, huh? That was crazy how much snow on Superstar. Yeah. So they might be skiing there in July, never mind May and June. That was pretty impressive. Yeah.
Those bumps on Ovation were like proper Killington spring big soft bumps. That was wild.
And I haven't had spring bumps like that. I don't, well, I probably, because I haven't been to Killington in a while in the spring. That was not really in spring. It was middle of March.
Yeah, it was
around like, it was early. It's like the 12th. Yeah, but super good going down through there. That was awesome. And boy, the tryouts this year were killer. Tryout at Waterville for the dev team tryout. 37 folks tried out, pumped up, ready to try to make the Alpine Ed staff. Was really awesome to see that shootout and to see them get ready. I mean, a lot of them have been banging it out together, training together, and going to prep since the last tryout 2 years ago. And they brought a lot of people on the road to it. Worked as a group. It was really cool to watch that go off. And then Eastern team. I wasn't there, but I heard that was a pretty good gig. And we all see on social media the team was picked. Pretty cool. Pretty awesome to see the whole crew on there and snowboard and telly.
Yeah. Congrats to that crew.
Yeah, that's a big journey they're on for the next couple of years, getting ready to move themselves to get out to the national team tryout, which will be fun to watch that and see how they're progressing. And boy, the resorts this year, oh man, as always, the resorts, giving us the place to do our events, let us come in. Some resorts go above and beyond, which is awesome. I mean, over at Ragged, Mr. Eric Barnes, one of our staff members, it's so awesome to go over there. I do a couple special intensive prep events over there, which is great. I get to go up to Sunday River, and Glenn Harrop, another one up there. He's the snow sports director up there, does an amazing job letting us come in to do those with the video and everything that has to happen with the intensive events for a couple weeks. And then definitely Chris Gilmore, snow sports director over at Waterville, was super awesome for the dev team tryout, and Waterville Valley Resort was awesome. for space and everything we needed to be able to pull that off really well, which was cool. It's nice to have that support from the resorts to get that done. And my God, I even heard, I wasn't even at one. Did you hear about the Jiminy Peak exam that we had weather coming in across the east. A bunch of resorts were closing. They were closing, but they literally kept one beginner lift open just for the exam. They didn't open to the public, just for PSA. And I think one of our Aussie groups came over from a resort close by that was closed down.
Kudos to them. Yeah.
That's
support. That's nice.
Killer.
Yep,
Killer. Really, and then the one other place I found this year, Angelo, was on a fun day, skiing with Chris Erickson. He took me to Plattekill. Went to Plattekill, free ski day, which I don't get many of. And Chris and I went over and skied with the director there, Roman. And oh my God, I had a couple of their pros there and had a great time. I want to go back to Plattekill and ski. Quite a unique spot. I didn't realize they're only open to the public. I think it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then Monday, I might get it wrong, but I think it's Monday and Thursday. They sell the resort out to private entities. So you can buy the whole resort and just have your folks there. Cause I know it was a group of 700 coming in, I think right after we skied there on the Monday or Thursday that week. And they had purchased the whole resort and they just come in and it's theirs for the day.
Dude, if both of our listeners decided to buck up and throw in, we could rent Plattekill for a Chaos and Company day.
Yeah.
Wonder what
it'd
that
only
costs.
be like $5,000 a piece, you know?
Oh, that's nothing. They lose more than that running for the bus.
Oh man. God. But yeah, I'm hoping to, cause I'm hoping to, I would love to go there to do a training day with the dev team or whatever. Or if I don't get that, I'm just going to go back skiing there at some time. I got to call Erickson up and tell him I'm taking a road trip. We're going to go skiing at Plattekill. So, but that is super awesome. But, that's a lot of some of the stuff that's happened this season. I think was really awesome. Our highlights, but there was one big one that was, you've been on a journey here, man. You've been on a journey for, let's see, this is at least the finish of year 3. Probably year 4, I think, because you started the year before that, just getting on it, or even before that.
Yeah.
A good long journey, which is cool. It was, this year alone on telly, you put probably close to like 40 days or so skiing with your freeheel.
About that, maybe a couple over that, 45 or something. But yeah, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Ah, that's awesome. And you went to, you were also did a couple events, which counted towards those, David. I mean, outside of PSA, you did the, down at Seven Springs, the, Lollapalooza.
Tellapalooza. Yeah. Well, before that, it was a good telly year for me. But before Tellapalooza, which is in January, in, December of last 5 seasons, I've been working with the Eastern Division of the National Ski Patrol at their outdoor emergency transportation conference that they do at Killington. And it's a collection of their hot shots and high rollers. And we do some days on snow. I ran a group there, a telemark group there one day. And then Tellapalooza, I ran a group at Seven Springs in January. We had the Southern Nordic Hoedown in February at Timberline and Canaan Valley and Whitegrass in West Virginia. That's a 3-day event. The day before that event started, I did a regional training day with the tele crew at Timberline. Dave McKinley came in from Central. Dave, I love Dave. Just what a good dude. Jay Nation, Kurt Burns, Sean Riggle, and a cast of other characters were around. Well, you talk about good snow at Timberline. They made so many rollers, and I don't remember what slope it is, but there were so many rollers top to bottom on this slope, and they were anywhere from, I don't know, 8 to 20 feet tall. Some of them so steep down the backside, like you would drop off of them, but they were nicknaming it thing like Troll Land and stuff like that because it was surreal. The landscape was surreal with all these whales that they had, and it was such a fun day. But then, last month, March, was the Eastern Telly dev team trial.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So you've done the level 2 for Telly the year before last, level 3 last year.
Right.
And then the dev team tryout this year.
Right.
So the dev team tryout was you were put in with the level 3 crew. Right. The way we did it on Telly. We had the dev team and level 3 together, but going through the level 2, the level 3 especially, you know, you and I had assessments ourselves, exams back early days. Somewhat different process than today in terms of, I know when I went, my first one, the associate cert was 3 days. Examiner scored all 3 things on each day, the skiing, the teaching, the tech. Then I went to my level 3. That's when things went to level 1, 2, 3. So I didn't get, I wasn't going to full. I went from associate to level 3. And then it was, it changed, even those couple of years it changed because I didn't make it the first time. It was 2 days of skiing. And we skied 1 whole day with 1 examiner, then 2 half days the second day. At least that's what I did. And then that stayed the same. But then the teaching was a 2-day. It was like go to like 2:00, and then you switched, and you had the same one the next day. Then you had another one. You went still between 3 people, but it was over 2 days. But then I didn't make that one. And then my second try at the level 3 teach tech was 3 full days of just teaching tech, which basically you went with 1 examiner each day for teaching a tech they scored each day. Had to get 2 out of 3. So now we're into our 3-day, which for level 3 and should be for hopefully everybody, if everything goes through next year, level 2 here in the East and level 2, 3 across the country would be 3 days. But you've been through this process with the new unified assessment forms versus no assessment form kind of in the past, you know, when you and I did it. What was some of your things that were like, yep, that's working. That's working, but I didn't know it would work like that. Like, were there any, cause you've been in the process quite a bit with your job the last couple of years with National, not just that you're an examiner in Alpine, but you're also with that. So like, what were some of the surprises? Were there any surprises for you as a candidate that you didn't think about as an assessor? You might have thought of like, how do the candidates think about this? But then when you were in the spot, like did anything change, or was like, no, it's kind of what I thought it would be?
It mostly what I thought it would be, like mostly like 98% what I thought it would be. And I anticipated this, but it hit me kind of hard. Like 30 minutes is really a short time to teach. That's challenging, especially like my average minimum clinic these days is probably a day, you know, and then at 2 days, 5 days, that amount of time in my mind is easier to fill than 30 minutes. You know, I totally thought that was, challenging. You have to really work at that, practice, doing a complete segment in that much time. And that doesn't mean you're going to say everything you would normally say in 2 hours or a day in 30 minutes. You don't just like talk faster and ski less. It's like hitting the targets, right? Like figuring out, and the opportunity is there in the teach module to work with your colleagues, your co-candidates, and figure out what they're working on. Like you've got that opportunity to work on goals and stuff like that. So that it's totally accessible, that piece of it. But then like once you determine what it is you want to work on and you're off and running, man, that the clock ticks fast. So I learned that if I were to do it again, which I'm not planning to, and I'm not planning any more tryouts or anything like that.
Not going for snowboard next year?
No, I'm not planning to. Yeah. But teaching in 30 minutes, do you have a goal? Is there something you're aiming at? Is there a target? That's vital. Collaborating with people that you're teaching doesn't need to be some big drawn out thing, but you know, like along the lines of hey, Dave, you just skied that activity. Do you want feedback? Do you want me to explain it or demo it differently, or do you just need more practice? And you're like, well, I just need more practice. Okay, well, that is collaborating, because the person next to you might say, well, I could use another demo. And all collaborate means is to work with. So you need another crack at it without any more input. All right, I can work with you and make that happen. I'll leave you alone and I'll meet you down by that slow sign. And then the person next to you say, well, here, I'll give you a demo, and then we'll meet Dave down by the slow sign. Like, can you hit those marks? Do your demos match what your verbal descriptions are? Do they both work toward that goal? Are you responding to the performance that you're seeing in front of you real time? And can you wrap it up with some grace and put closure to it and make it all make sense like a package? That's what needs to be done in 30 minutes. That said, like, when you're in the hot seat and you're nervous, that's challenging. So anybody listening who's thinking about putting themselves in that situation and like leveling up or trying to join an ed staff somewhere, I would just say it's totally doable, but practice that short form. I didn't practice it. I mean, admittedly, and looking back, especially in the moment, but now looking back, I wish I had practiced that short form. I think that's something I would do differently, is that practice more of that short form. Yeah.
Yeah. I see a lot of, I mean, I think when I counted it up, like 13 days of assessments this year, scoring them. And that's one of the things I see, is that folks really are nervous with the time. And as an assessor myself, and I know pretty much the crew that I've worked with, it's like, if you don't worry about the time, like if the time runs out and like you didn't get somewhere, we're going to give you a couple minutes to put the bow on it, to do a summary. It's like, we're not going to go, 30 minutes, you're done, you can't say another word. You try to let them know it's 5 minutes to go, but they're so worried about every little piece matching, like if they don't get to this certain point. And I know Matt Boyd's talked about it. It's like, just teach. Like, we're not worried about if you get to that point, because we know it's 30 minutes. And yeah, that's something I encourage people to practice so they're comfortable with that. But I think it's also hopefully we can dispel the perception that like you have to have all these pieces in this exact amount of time. I got to spend 5 minutes for my intro. I got to spend this much time. It's like, we're more just looking at good teaching and do it over 30 minutes. And if you had another task in your head you do next, that's awesome. But it doesn't work against you. And it's not like you had to get to that point to pass the assessment. It's like, what was the good teaching during that time?
Well, and I mean, there's a lot of legacy, there's a lot of legacy training out there I'll call it, in the world.
Yeah.
When you and I came up, what was the vogue was the 3-step progression, like not the 4-step progression, not the 2-step progression, like the 3-step progression. But these days we're better at teaching. We know better what good teaching is. And that 3-step progression lingers, because I would venture a guess that many or most resort trainers are from our generation of human, and that's how we were trained.
Yeah.
So that's still out there. And like, no, it is not necessary to do a 3-step progression. You can do, one activity. And if you're observant and you watch it and you see things in the performance that you can respond to change with your next step or a short modification, that's plenty. Like, you're not going to fit 3 different separate tasks in a 30-minute teach effectively. No.
Yeah. And you had some challenges, or we did. I shouldn't say you, but I mean, they were put on you as a candidate, and I knew it as an assessor in that situation when I was scoring the level, all the group that day when we were at the telly thing, when I was scoring the level 3s and scoring you. we had a snow surface change from the day before.
Yeah. Yeah.
we had a solid quick freeze overnight. And I mean, Killington they were re-grooming some sections of the mountain that they had groomed early when it was wet because it was like, I guess, unskiable. So Ram's Head Snowdon was shut down when we went out.
Yeah.
And so we went up Snowshed and then headed over to Superstar because it was like it was either go to Superstar or go to Needle's Eye. And the word on Needle's Eye was they didn't groom anything that night.
Yeah.
So
well,
I'm thinking,
and you didn't mention, but on day one, that was the warm day.
Yeah.
We had a rain delay. So how long did we spend in the K1 Lodge? Like an hour.
The thunderstorm. Yeah.
Yeah. And there was a lightning storm.
Yeah.
And then it pissed rain. So you and Shannon Belt, who was the other examiner, made a call to go. Well, we had to go in. They shut the place down, but like we can do some tech and MA conversation, tech understanding conversation inside the K1. But all that water that fell in that hour is then what froze overnight. Like, it was brutal.
It was because we were coming down. That was only like 10:15, 10:20 in the morning.
Early in the morning, yeah.
Because we were coming down and just getting ready. I was just swinging in to go through the turnstile on the Superstar 6-pack there. And I was still looking over towards Highline and across the K1 Lodge, and I saw the lightning behind the hill. I'm like, oh, baby. Yeah. And I look into Shannon, who was already past the turnstile. I said, did you see that? He's like, no. And then I saw the lift attendant waving to us. No, go back. It's like, okay. Oh man, I forgot about that. Yeah. So we did some tech understanding because we were doing skiing that day and some MA tech we were going to do later in the day. I said, okay, let's rearrange things here.
Yeah. Yeah. When you see the lifty screaming, save yourself.
Yeah.
Time to go in.
So, but yeah, it froze up. And I remember coming down when we rode that next morning, it was frozen. We headed up on Superstar on the 6-pack, and we headed over. Superstar was closed, like it was roped off,
right? And
we headed on, what is it, Skyhawk or whatever it is, Skylark or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh my God, was that loud, like, and slippery. I mean, it was ice rink, ice rink, and I'm thinking, wow. So that's why it was. We got down to, what is it, Bittersweet or whatever that pitch is, or just before Bittersweet, and I'm looking over to Snowdon. I'm just staring at it. And Shannon Belt comes up, skis up next to me, and stops next to me, and he's like, "What are you staring at?" And I was looking over at the Snowdon lift, going, "I just want to see somebody come down, get in the lift line and be able to load it, because I want to go to something that's not as steep as this." And maybe it's groomed because they were going to re-groom over there, we were told. And I did see somebody go up. So we headed over there, and you had to coach first on that. And everybody was there.
Right.
Like, it was limited terrain, what they had opened. And we hadn't skied it that day, and we skied it. We didn't ski it the day before, but you skied it, but it was not a surface you knew. and so you had to ski it, and then we all funneled down into that, just above Mousetrap, into that where the tunnel is, and pretty crazy through there. And then it was crazy under the chair heading down, because you had Mousetrap under the chair to get down to the bottom of Snowdon. So it was a challenging terrain wise, but that's what we had. I mean, so what was going through your mind on that first run? Because you had to teach first.
Nothing.
Just got to get through this.
What was going through? Are you kidding me? What was going through my mind? It's like, of course it froze. Like, that was probably the first thing on my mind. I didn't mind going first. That wasn't a big deal.
Everybody else backed up when I tried to get them to go first. But
hey, good on them, man. I mean, I should have been paying closer attention.
The other three just backed right up. They were like, no way.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, what was going through my mind then, and what was going through my mind in my tele level 3 exam, and what was going in my mind in the level 2 exam the year prior to that, was just all the pressures that I experienced through that whole process, which is just all of it. Like people have, this is my perception based on what people said to me through the process for the last couple of years. Like you mentioned, people have expectations of me because of things I've achieved in other disciplines. And to some extent, well, in large part, having an alpine background is uber helpful. There's no question about that. Also a children's examiner. So like that, you can draw on that experience. So while, those things definitely help, the flip side of them is that there is an expectation that people put on me, and there's an expectation I put on myself. And so my pulse was up, man. Like fear of failure. I didn't want to disappoint you. I didn't want to disappoint myself, Amanda, but the people at home who were rooting for me, all the coaches that I've been just completely blessed to work with over the past couple of years. Like, it's not lost on me that I've got access to the best coaches in the country. Like, I respect that. I appreciate it. And it is completely helpful. And at the very same time, I could still have not been successful. And I would have been disappointed, and I would have been mad at myself, and I would have been embarrassed. And so that's what was in my mind. Like, what's in my mind? All that, you know?
Yeah. Pressure, man. Pressure. That's
real pressure. Yeah.
And that's what the candidates are under. And I wanted you to kind of express that, you know, and you and I haven't talked about it like this. People go, oh, you guys probably talked about it before you get on. I mean, not in this way.
No, we haven't really talked about that at all. That tryout at all.
No. Yeah. And, you know, someone like me is, you're going like you went to your level 3 last year. And I guarantee I said it this year, because I don't know. I think I probably said it to you. I don't think I said it to you after I knew I was going to be scoring it, but I think I might have before, you know, telling you don't fuck it up.
Yeah. Well, you and Amanda gave me the same advice. You know,
so nice guy I am. Then you find out I'm going to be scoring you. You know, the guy that's going to be scoring me just told me a couple weeks ago, don't fuck it up.
Well, but, and then, okay, so there's that piece, right? Because we have a history.
Yeah.
I am 150% certain. And I will never be convinced otherwise that you would have passed me if I didn't meet the standard. I knew that. But I got to say, just having you there, because we're tight, made it all the more, it added all that much pressure.
I figured it did.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. You came through with flying colors, though, because you know I'm a hard ass.
Well, I know you believe in the standard. And I honestly, I mean, I wouldn't want you to lower it for me. But I worked after I found out you were scoring it. And it was like 2 or 3 weeks before that I found out. I don't even remember how I found out, but like I got a little more focused at that point. Like I'm like, I need to be better than I am right now, because I don't want there to be I don't want to be near the borderline at all. You know what I mean? So yeah, it just added that much more heat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was loving the runs on Ovation. Everybody pushed it there. I'd say the whole group, even though all the level 3 candidates pushed it there. That's pitch. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, it's up there with tryout level performance. And, because it wasn't for the level 3 crew. It was, you know, it wasn't a stay in the fall line. It was, can you have controlled skiing coming down through there? It was real. I mean, it wasn't fast. It was beautiful snow, that spring snow, but the bumps were big, big bumps.
And it was steep. Like if you remember, like there are a couple little head walls.
Yeah.
And like you do the first one, it's mellow, it's blue at the top. Yeah. And then you hit that first horizon line and it gets a little tiny bit steeper. Not much. Yeah. It's still blue. But then you hit that next horizon line and that is a drop. And the bumps were huge. And I remember, you remember this, I came over that drop and I'm like, I hadn't seen it yet. I hadn't seen this. I hadn't skied it. Yeah. I was at Okemo the day before. I didn't ski Killington until the tryout.
Yeah, right. I come over that.
I see that big bump. That big bump was right in the middle of that head wall because everybody else was coming and stopping and pushing that into a big, huge pile. So I'm seeing this and I'm like, shit, I'm gonna do an actual turn around this thing. Like I'm gonna go in the side door and turn around to the back side of this bump to give myself time to just eyeball what's underneath me. Like that was my tactic. So I get onto that bump. I ski around the side. I'm on the back side of it. And my thought process was, I'm just going to slip down the back of this because I still was like 8 or 10 feet above the next bump. I'm like, I'm just going to slip down this and then I'll ski I could see a line and I'm like, I'll ski that line. It was so steep and soft. As I started to slip, that snow all broke away and it opened every buckle on my right boot.
I know.
I'm like, shit. So I came to a stop and I'm like, I have to buckle my boot. I'm not gonna.
It ripped that sucker right open.
Yeah, to put my shoe back on. So it was, conditions were a factor.
That was fun. That was a great, I skied the day before there too. Got over there and the bumps for 2 days were just amazing. It was such a bummer to go to that hard snow, but everybody came through. I mean, we literally finished having folks teach we were over in Ram's Head. I mean, cause it got so crazy traffic wise. And like after all that traffic skied that run coming off of Snowden. I mean, it wasn't even like an ice rink. It was like an ice rink with water flowing down it. That's what it felt like. It felt so slippery.
Yeah. It was like pockmarked and it was like a coral reef in some spots. It was just knobby, like it had knobs on it.
Oh, it was brutal. I was glad to go, but it's great for us, and people wonder, how we get those feelings. I mean, we have to be empathetic to that. We have to know it. Like, and I know members don't think that we know. I mean, a lot of times we get onto certain snow, we feel it too, It's like when it sucks, I know it sucks. When traffic's busy, I have to adjust. But there's so many factors that go in that when you're under that gun. I mean, just think about it at training. We've seen when we've got to get out in front of the group and we're in front of 8 examiners, just when it's not even, we're just at training. It's not like I'm in an event or an exam, an assessment, but it's like you don't want to mess up in front of the crew. So we feel that pressure and we understand it. And it's hard when you get in that pressure moment. It's tough. It's definitely all those things you said, the other pieces come into play to help you get through that stuff. But you also did another cool one this winter. I can't remember with the National Ski Patrol yourself.
Oh,
you had another
right. Yeah. Like 2 weeks before, it was a busy February and March. Like I completed there are 2 components to the National Ski Patrol senior program. One is EMM, and that's emergency medical management.
Yep.
That focuses on first aid and your ability to manage a complex scene. So either a patient with multiple injuries or multiple patients with injuries. And, that's what that program is focused on, managing those types of situations. And then there's a skiing component, OET, the outdoor emergency transportation. So that consists of skiing skills, and then the toboggan work, so unloaded and loaded toboggans in bumps. We were at Laurel Mountain in Western Pennsylvania on Lower Wildcat, which was properly bumped up and it is properly steep. And it was icy again, like it was right around that same time period that the tele tryout happened. And we had gotten a bit of rain and some cold in the western part of Pennsylvania. And so, I mean, you're dealing with all that. But I had a successful attempt at that and earned my senior, and just learned a ton by going through that process about how another industry association runs assessments. It was valuable for a lot of reasons, not the least of which was that, like just seeing how National Ski Patrol does it. My tendency is to say they, but I am one of us. So I have to teach myself to not say that. To see how National Ski Patrol System conducts assessments and how PSIA ASI conducts assessments. And that really expanded my view going through that program this winter too.
Cool. Congrats, man. I saw that one. That was when you put that out and told us about it on Facebook. And that's awesome. And you've written a ton of articles, and we could kind of give like a little easier way that they could get to them. Cause I know you've also mentioned, and I've read it, I think it's awesome, is Dave Schuling's People Skills one. That's another one. There's a bunch of other articles, just how to get there.
Yeah. I've published 9 since June, and actually just submitted the 10th one today to our editor, Christian Green. So if you go to the national website, there are 2 ways to get to the articles. If you go to the national website, snowpros.org, and go to the About drop down, the second choice is News and Stories. That takes you to articles and just a lot of information that's put out on the regular. The other way to get there is the Professional Development drop down. So if you hover over that and you look down to the bottom, it says Blog. That links to the same collection of articles. So there's 2 ways to get to them once you're on the website. But yeah, they're out there. Mine are mostly people and teaching skills focused. But there are dozens and dozens of articles. So all sorts of topics for people to dig into over the summer with their summer nerd out training cohort groups. Yeah. I
wanted to, that kind of leads into, the culture, man. It's like, I hope we're an educational organization. That's our foundation. We are a certification body also, and that's part of our organization. But I hope that possibly the stuff we're doing with the podcast, the stuff you put out, we do score. We are examiners, assessors, whatever word you want to put on it, but we are ed staff. And, sometimes the education doesn't always get highlighted and needs to. And I think it would help a lot of folks if we can somehow create more of that education culture because man, it's like you said, you've had a lot of help, but a lot of education. It isn't like you just, hey, I'm just going to go to the level 2 telly and make it and pass it. I'm not just going to go to the level 3 and pass it. You did a lot of stuff you're kind of humble about. I know you had the manual out. I know you were reading other stuff. I guarantee that you've got hidden somewhere written down. Might not be on 3x5 cards, but I guarantee you've got some thoughts written down, they're kind of pseudo lesson plans to then work off of, to make it a real teaching thing versus a progression. But you've got some stuff written down, I bet too.
I think I have to engage with the content like a bunch of different ways. That's how I learn it. So I've read the tele manual. I gave it a full read before my level 2. Yep. I didn't give it a full read before level 3 or dev team, but I did reference it. Once you give it a full read and you understand the structure, like it's easier just to go back and find what you need. So yeah, I did that. I've got other like trade publications that you could buy at Barnes and Noble that we have on our bookshelf that are telemark focused. I read those. I've skied a lot, in the rain, at night, in the sunshine, during, just skied a lot, which you have to, but engaged in discussion and conversation with people and had people I could ask questions, including you. I, from time to time, would shoot you video or shoot you a question or something like that. But it's an immersion, and I will say that like, I know I'm very fortunate to have access to the coaching that I do. I mean, the national team for starters, and then the most of the Eastern telemark examiners, 2 of whom are at my home area. So like, and Sean Riggle's close, he's right down the road. And, so we have a tele culture here, which is fantastic. Damn it, I forget what I was going to say. I lost my train. Where was I going?
Well, you're just talking about what you immersed, you put yourself into all the stuff, and yeah, it's good. I mean, because like skiing, I know you've been out skiing. You'll go out at night because you have ability to night ski down there. So if you didn't have a task force meeting on Zoom, which Amanda's got to love, I don't have any base camp meetings or any task forces, but I'm going to go skiing tonight, hon.
Yeah, well, she'll come to a Telly Tuesday. That's a regular event too. So, like you started to talk about culture.
Yeah,
we have a rock solid Telly culture locally. So, like, and I do get to talk to people from all over the country who are involved in telemark skiing, and from what I understand, like we have one of the biggest scenes right here. So. Yeah. It's really pretty easy to find it if you're looking for it.
Yeah, you know, look at what you had come into this year's Telepalooza. I mean, Jim Shaw's been coming forever. I mean, Jim is such a supporter of Telly across the entire country, anywhere he goes. But I mean, you had some central examiners. You had from Rocky. You know, and I'm not just talking J Nation because Jay goes, "Oh, I'm in both," which he is. You know, his Jay's down there with you, but he's also Rocky. But you had some others, which was cool. I mean, that shows how much is going on there. What Keith and that whole crew, Kurt, Mr. Kurt Burns and the crew have got going on down there, and Jay going back for me. Jay will make sure he's home for that one, which is cool. But you put a lot of time skiing.
Well, we have there's a tradition here, like that revolves around the recent memory of a telemark trendsetter in our area named Jim Cap, who a few years ago sadly passed away from ALS. But Jim Cap started this scene. He grew this scene, and when he got sick, to their credit, J Nation, Kurt Burns, Mike Mayer, others picked up the mantle and ran with it. But like, yeah, you're talking about the caliber of coach that they can bring to the event. Molly Holmes from Rocky Mountain, Jim Shaw, Keith Rodney, Kurt Garcia. You mentioned Dave McKinley. Don Sensenig comes over from the Poconos. Adele Wellman comes down from Hollymont. There's no shortage of coaching for telemark locally here.
Yeah. It's been the one benefit, like you're saying now, the one benefit of moving up through level 2, level 3, moving the dev team. You know, and we had to go through what we called ETS, the Examiner Training Squad, try out to become part of the examiner staff. Now it's dev team, and then elevation off that with what everybody in their discipline does here in the East. But the training, it's the training. It's the education. It gets better. It gets better as the farther up you go. The access to people, obviously, and we have to, like you said, you know, you have to say that we do. I mean, the access I have to give a call to Matt Boyd or Jeb, or how close they are to run over to Ragged, go skiing with Eric, Mr. Barnes. But it's like you still have to try to create those things and figure out how the culture can go. Ski together, like you were talking earlier, like people going for the assessments. And that 30-minute practice for the 30-minute teach, you don't have to be in a training session. Go out with 2 or 3 or 4 of your buddies on staff that are working towards the same thing, or that are just on staff. Go out and practice with them. Do a 30-minute teach.
You can honestly do that stuff by yourself. Like if you've got a pitch of a hill. I mean, I'm picturing Seven Springs, Wagner slope that comes on the front side right down to the ski lodge. It might be 500 vertical feet. I really don't know I don't know the vertical drop on Wagner slope, but it's not much. You could easily go out there by yourself, pick a handful of landmarks, figure out what you want to say, what activity you want to ski, and you could practice that 30-minute routine on your own. I'm going to say these words out loud. I'm going to do pivot slips. Oh, we banned pivot slips, didn't we, on our last show? So, all right, sorry, not pivot slips. I'm going to do falling leaf down to that tree. Go. I'm going to say these words, which is probably in line with what I would say next if there was a group with me. I'm going to look at their performance, You could practice by yourself. You don't even need another person. Yeah.
Oh, and then, teaching. If I was going to, I think, and I know you might tag on to this, if I'm going to give any advice, if anybody's willing to listen to me, and I know it'll help them, you go into a level 2, you go into a level 3, just be simple. Like, think about what you've seen the people do. You're going to get a chance to watch them. You're going to get a chance to watch them ski for some turns. You come up with what you want to work on with them, and then just think of a simple activity to go do. You don't even have to tell them everything about it. Like, think something simple. Like, say you're going to do a hockey stop. Mm-hmm. Just have them try a hockey stop. I guarantee everybody at the level 2, everybody going to the level 3, I'll be shocked if someone hasn't done a hockey stop at some point before they go to that assessment, especially when it's part of the skiing part of level 2. Mm-hmm. So just have them do a hockey stop. Don't have to tell them every piece and part of it. Just say, hey, let's do some hockey stops here and let's see how these go. Mm-hmm. And then out of that hockey stop, then you start your teaching. You don't need to teach before they move. Like, a lot of times I'll see they've watched people ski, and then they'll tell them every single thing they want them to do, every single thing they just did, and every single thing they have to do in all 5 fundamentals. It's like, I'm taking notes like everything they said, and it's like, I can't even write it fast enough and write it all down, everything they said. It's like, just think simple. You do a hockey stop to look at, can people turn the skis parallel in the pivot part? Mm-hmm. Can they turn from the legs? If they don't, you got something to coach there. Mm-hmm. And you probably saw something that maybe they're not turning the legs, and see, I didn't use a pivot slip. Hockey stop.
Yeah, no pivot slips.
But also with the hockey stop, it's just inclination angulation. After the pivot, they've got to tip the skis on edge. Do they tip from the feet up? Do they incline the whole body? Like, boom, there's what you're going to coach. Mm-hmm. There's something to tell them, like, hey, let's see if we can do this. And now you can start to work with it. Same thing if somebody didn't move towards the turn. How many times do we hear people, they don't release, or they don't move their center of mass towards the new turn? And they always have to say center of mass. It's like, maybe you want to do some 1,000 steps at that level 2. Just have them do some 1,000 steps. Do they step towards the turn? Do they step with the foot? Do they step with the right foot going to the right? Do they step with the left foot first going to the left? Just start there. And it gives you something to measure and look at. And everything else comes out of it. Like, it's sometimes thought of that they have to tell them about stance. They have to tell them about every joint. They have to tell them about where the center mass is going to go to the inside of the arc versus just move. Mm-hmm. Give me an activity. Let me move.
I mean, you're, as a candidate, the real advantage is you've got a group of students who are ostensibly trained in the sport you're trying to teach them. So I see some people get contrived, like they'll get in front of a group they've been with for a day and a half and reintroduce themselves.
Yes.
It just takes on this. I'm not making fun of it. I get it. No. I know why it happens. Yeah. It doesn't have to happen. We don't need to see that. They don't need to see it. But like, to your point, I love a hockey stop, because holy cow, like, here's the activity and here's the goal. I want you to come to a stop, and you can't drift forward, can't drift backward, and you can't tip into the hill or lift your foot off the ground. So go. What happened? And then the three of them, maybe there are 3 other people. One drifts forward, one drifts backward, and one tips into the hill, and the outside ski comes off the ground. And all you need to say is, what happened? Well, I drifted forward. Well, can you do it again and make that not happen? Yeah. Okay, try it. Well, I drifted the other way. Can you make it not happen? Yeah, try it. Can you keep that foot on the ground this time? Yeah, try it. Just the second chance is what they need. That's adapting and collaborating. And then if you want them to flesh it out, to debrief on it, Dave, how did you that time keep your outside foot on the ground? Well, I had to put more weight on. I had to be more over top of it. I had to stand on that ski more. I don't need to hear technical jargon. I just want to know what you did to make it work. Yeah. That's perfectly fine. Like, I think that would be a very good teach. Yeah. And then take it into some skiing. Like, what is it? You're not, unless the the goal of the group of students was to really, really get good at hockey stops. You need to take that activity and what it was used for and take that newly acquired skill, or not even newly acquired with a group of level 2 and 3 candidates. It's just you dusted it off.
Yeah.
Take that skill you just dusted off and apply it to your free run.
Yep.
Right? Give them feedback on that. Yeah, this is what I saw.
Yep.
Like that's perfectly valid.
Yep. And this is the part I think that we've been trying to, Andrea, my wife, always tells me that the one thing she loves about the podcast is, and she was even hitting me when I was talking about what I might want to chat with you tonight about. She's like, you got to hit it again. Self-awareness, self-coaching, and you and I look at it like we're already thinking about like, when we score the assessments, that's the outcome of everything that those folks have been trained, been told, read, heard, and got from not just trainers at the home mountain, but examiners from our publications, whatever they've seen, whatever they watched the Matrix. Mm-hmm. So it gives us like, okay, how do I reframe? How do I help them get better? And I look at it internal. To me, like, what are some of the things I can do in my training clinics? What are some of the things we can do on the podcast? What are some of the things that I'm going to do in my intensive preps next year? Right. Because it goes into that self-assessment, self-awareness. Like, are we getting the message out? Are we giving folks the information, the knowledge they need in a way that they're able to process and put back into play? And I hope that they realize that we're not just asking them to do it. We're doing it, and we're doing it now. Like you and I are definitely, I know you are, even though you got Academy still coming, I guarantee you're already thinking about next fall, because next fall is a big one. I mean, it's a big one for our organization going into the alignment that hopefully everything shoots out awesome here in May. And we move forward to get things shooting across the country. That I guarantee in your head, you're already like, okay, what do we have to focus on for training for the different regions and make sure all the regions get the same info?
Not even in my head. Like, the documents are started, because last year I took the lead on designing the alignment piece of examiner training across the country. Input from a lot of people, but like, that was a project that I spearheaded, and we're starting it for we've already began that project for next year, examiner training for next fall, based on exactly what you're talking about right now, which is feedback from what we learned this year is being baked into next year's examiner training plan, right? That is happening right now. We're not even done with this season yet. So yes, very much we are taking what we learned from across the country. We've got a group of people identified to do quality assurance evaluations, QAE. Pete Allison, one of that crew. He just finished up at Northern Rocky Mountain observing some exams, and he's got his data. I saw Pete and Dave Gregory, who's the Rocky Mountain Director of Education at Seven Springs. We had some events about maybe 5 weeks ago now, and those guys did QAE on two different groups of level 1. They weren't evaluating the candidates; they were evaluating the process that we've designed and how is it working, and take what we learned and refine. But to your point, next year is it's a deadline, right? National alignment. A couple of the groups, children's specialists, for example, needed an extension, so they got another year. It's not like nobody's being forced to align. We're dealing with hundreds of volunteers from across the country who, like, quite literally over this coming summer will put in thousands of hours combined, just like they did last year, just like they did the year before. So yes, there is an army of paid employees and volunteers. Dozens of people. I'm sure easily over 100 when you look at all the national task forces and then the regional folks that they rely on to get their information from. Yeah, there is a tiny army working in this association's best interest. The members of this association in their best interest. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, because when we look at this is always going to be parts you might not like, but when you look at where we're going, and like this year, some of our regions, I know we were one, did all the level 3s. I think Rocky did level 2 and level 3 with more of the national what we're thinking will be hopefully the alignment or close to it next year for the process for the 3-day, which will probably be some tweaks, but not hopefully a big deal.
It's three module.
Yeah.
Because if you remember, 2 seasons ago, we collected data from across the country from experienced examiners. How long does it take you to evaluate these assessment criteria? We collected that data, we crunched the numbers, and we determined the length of time it takes to properly evaluate those assessment criteria. Properly means giving candidates multiple chances, right? Give them the time that they need to do what they do. And we arrived at 2 different sets of numbers. So if you've got, in most cases, if you've got 4 to 6 candidates, you can do that event in X amount of time. If you've got 7 to 9 candidates, you can do that evaluation in Y amount of time.
Right.
And depending on regional, processes and how the events are advertised and how they're populated by people signing up for them, we can adjust. So what does not change is the assessment criteria. And you're given 45 minutes to be evaluated on your skiing performance throughout that day, for example. With a handful of people, you could do that in a half a day. It's the same module. When you've got more people, that just takes more time. So that module is covered in one day. Like it's a modular system. And the number of days is determined by the number of candidates that are registered for the event. But it's consistent.
And they can take it in a modular way. They don't have to do all 3 modules.
Correct.
Can take one, wait for the other, and they can pick which ones. But they're
no, that's not level 1 and not
just level 2 and 3. Yeah,
right.
Level 1.
So level 1 is one examiner.
Yeah.
Done over 2 days. Yeah, like that's the level 1 process. Level 2 and level 3, to your point, are a little different. Mm-hmm.
And but it's all good. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you, the standard people pass that should, and people that aren't attaining the level, that are maintaining, aren't quite ready yet. But I think it gives a great shot. I think if people really look at the amount of time for each thing they're doing, like we did the level 3 here in the East this year, the teach day, looking at people's skills and teach is really an awesome, gives them, nothing's rushed. Everything has plenty of time. It's set up like a real lesson. Mm-hmm. It's advanced skiing. You watch the other candidates for a run or 2, possibly, depending on the lift structure. Mm-hmm. And then you have a couple lift rides with them, at least, sometimes 3, depending on the warm-ups, to be able to get to know them, figure out, some of the things they've been working on their skiing, just like you would with a real lesson that was at the home hill in the advanced zone. I think you can't say it doesn't mimic, other than the 30 minutes, which we chatted about earlier, but what do you do? It's hard to, if we put a process out there that everybody had to teach like an all-day lesson or a half-day lesson, like most resorts, not all, but most resorts are doing now. I mean, that would just not be feasible.
Well, and right. We've landed on a process that works. We think works, right? But certainly people make suggestions about other processes. And one that I hear quite a bit from people is it would be more authentic if you observe them actually teach lessons at their home hill. Granted, of course it would. But then the can of worms that opens is it's just not manageable. Yes, it is a terrific idea, but when you dig below the surface of that idea, you're looking at liability. You're looking at, do you even have access to the lesson? If you couldn't, not only could you not do a level 3 exam at Seven Springs Resort where I live because of the pitch, for example, but if you were doing that model of an assessment where an examiner observed a real lesson at that level, we don't sell enough of those lessons for that to be a reliable process. You can't just grab people off the hill and start teaching them and score that. What if they get hurt because you told them to try something? It's a terrific idea, but you don't have to scratch very far below the surface to realize it's not going to work. It's the same. And while I'm thinking, what popped into my head, it's like that argument that PSIA, ASI needs to fight for higher wages for us. Like first of all, this association was not established as a union. So that's not the function of it. We're not chartered that way.
No.
But secondly, can you imagine if we went as an association to the corporations and said, you need to pay your instructors more for our certifications? They would rightfully say, oh, really? Well, you know what? We're not going to give them any raise for your certifications, and we'll do our own in-house program. And we were shuttered immediately. As in, like, it just, great idea. That's a beautiful sentence. But you don't have to be too analytical to realize very, very quickly that would not only not work, it would shut us down.
Yeah.
We educate and we certify. Period.
I don't know if anybody's ever gone after, hey, let's go to this educational organization and have them be lobbyists for our pay for a union.
I mean, it would be the equivalent of like me being upset with my alma mater, St. Vincent College, and going to them and saying, like, when I was a teacher, you should have fought for more wages for me. Like, that just doesn't, that's not the function of that group.
No.
You know?
Not at all. But we are educators.
That was a little tirade. That was a little rant.
That's okay.
I hope Eric
we can
Lipton
have rants before we have the podcast. What
Did
do you
like
create
that
a podcast
rant, Eric Lipton?
Yeah. See that? We're not dorks. He's going to come back with "You are dorks." Yeah.
Well, he'd be right.
But I mean, why else would we have a podcast if you couldn't rant once in a while?
I don't know.
But
I can't think of a reason.
Well, you know, I rant all the time, and I rant because I see our staff too, and I get it. We've been on both sides. I think people forget at one point we weren't examiners, we weren't ed staff, and we were coming up through those assessments and had the same perceptions and views of the examiners and stuff. And some people get a view that we like it when they don't pass. And I'm like, that's just not the case, man. It's like, I go out there and I am just searching for, I want everybody to pass. Isn't it great when you go out and people do well? That's the best piece. I mean, how could you be an educator and want people to not do well?
I can't imagine. Here, I need you to pause for 1 minute. This is for Lipton. Can you hear this?
Okay. Yep.
Did you hear it?
Oh, I didn't hear it. Shit.
Oh, well, anyway, I just opened a Guinness, Eric. So put that in your pipe and smoke.
There you go. He had a rant and then he opened a Guinness. But yeah, it's some of the, you know, and I get people get wound up. I've been lectured this year by a few members and I hear the emotion, and they've worked super hard to get there and didn't understand the feedback or didn't understand the outcome, wanted a different outcome. And I get it. I think they don't realize that we've actually failed exams, failed our level 2s and 3s at times before we got here. And it's a process, and I get it. And but I hope I see a lot of, one of the things that bothers me is everything costs money, and I get it. But if you go to 3 exams in a row and you're paying that price for the exam, maybe go to one ed event and get some help from us.
Mm-hmm.
And then go back, and you might not have to go to 3 or 4. And like, I see people going to 3 or 4 and still not passing, you know, and there's a cause there and I don't know where they think they're going to get the education out of the exam itself, because they're just watching other candidates go through the process.
Mm-hmm.
And we give them, you know, 5 to 10 minutes at the end for each person to chat with them, and then a written comment. But it's not 2 full days. Give me 2 full days.
Right.
I guarantee that 2 full days, you go with me, you go with you, go with anybody on our ed staff, is going to give you a shot way better and a lot more understanding of what you need to do to accomplish to reach the goal you want. That's why we're here. I mean, that to me is I hope that message gets out positive, that we want to ski with them because we want to help them. We want to educate them. We want to help them get to that goal. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of our members don't feel the of ed events going to get them there? And I think it is. It's tough to watch people go. They go level 1 assessment, and they get a ton of training from the home mountain, which is awesome. And that's why, and we see a pretty decent pass rate there. And then they go to the CS1, which is another great program. And another assessment, though. I mean, that's part education, but an assessment. And then they go right from there to the level 2 skiing and teach, and hit at least one full educational event that we're not throwing a scorecard down, so we can help you to reach those goals would be really cool. Yeah. I know I'd like that opportunity.
Well, I don't disagree with anything you said, and I'm sitting here thinking, like, to your point, like what the reality is. I mean, how many education staff members are there total in the Eastern U.S.? 200
total. We got to be near total. It's got to be just over two. It's got to be over 200. It's got to be with our Alpine, our Ace team, our Telly, our Adaptive, our snowboard.
Let's call it 300 then. Yeah. Let's call it 300 just to inflate it a bit.
Yep.
300 education staff members out of about 10,000 association members in the Eastern U.S. alone. That's 3%.
Yeah.
That's only 3%. So when you think about that number, it's small. Yeah. Like, not everybody has access to education staff people. I totally understand that.
Yep.
Because I grew up like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm from an area where we didn't have any. And then when you consider the fact that they're in many cases centralized around particular resorts, like, look at Stowe. Look how many examiners Stowe has, and then look how far away Stowe is from where I live, and then how far is Stowe from Boone, North Carolina?
Yep.
So yes, it is a legitimate, actual, real investment and challenge to access the training. I totally get that. I'm empathetic toward it. I totally, or whatever, sympathetic toward it. I'm compassionate about it.
Yeah.
But I grew up with the same kind of deal. So, like, it just, and I hope this doesn't come across as like flippant, but like, because people are busy, they have lives and kids and jobs and all the life issues that come up, and dogs get sick and you go to the vet, everything that happens, I totally get. But like, it in a lot of cases comes down to a choice. Like, what are you going to spend your money and your time on? What we do is enrichment. I believe that what we do, what we offer, snow sports generally, but in addition to that, teaching snow sports is a life fulfilling enrichment type activity. It is worth the effort versus, like, I don't know, Starbucks gets victimized a lot in these kinds of conversations, but like, how many gourmet coffees? We went to the movies a couple of times over the past year, right? Yeah. Amanda has 2 kids. 4 of us go to the movies. It's $150.
Yes.
Movie tickets, popcorn, sodas, fuel. Well, if you had fuel in right now with my truck, $6 a gallon, it would cost me right now $175 to take 3 other people to a movie. $175. You can do a 2-day event in the Eastern US for around $200. So, like, that's a value, man. That is a huge value.
Come ski with us. Come let us help you. I mean, there's so many. I saw people go to multiple exams within 2 weeks, and be unsuccessful at both. And I sit there going, give us a shot to help you. We're an educational organization and we want to help. It's we can give you feedback at the end, which we do. It's short. I mean, but it's not like skiing for 2 days and being able to work with them for 2 days, whether it's on their teaching or it's on their skiing. And like you said, we get it. I mean, I feel very lucky. I look back and look at the people I got to ski with from when I started and came through, and I've been out there enough, as you know, that I've been pretty much on the road with PSA for over 20 years and traveling down south and going all the way down to Virginia and West Virginia and North Carolina. And I know, man, it was when I first started going down there in the early 2000s, it was like there was no Chip Cox down there.
Mm-hmm.
Now they got Chip Cox. That boy, man, they got to put some statues up for that guy. But I mean, there's not a lot. Our ed staff is Northern. That's where they tend to congregate. That's where they come to. We have a great crew in PA. Mm-hmm. Absolutely a great crew down there. You're one of, and then Jess and Stan, and I mean, they'll get all mad if I list all, miss one.
Well, last year we counted, didn't we? And there are somewhere around 27 ed staff members in Pennsylvania, different disciplines, but there's upwards of 25 to 30 right now, which is
really good,
which is pretty cool. And you mentioned Chip Cox.
Yeah.
I just saw that dude. Where were we? Where did I see him? Stratton for Eastern Spring Rally. And I get compared, Mickey Stone and I get compared a lot because apparently there's a resemblance.
You're not Mickey. Who are you?
And then, now I'm going to change my screen name to Mickey. But then you've got the Norm Staunton, Doug Daniels, who are doppelgangers. Yep. And we learned this past week at Stratton that Chip Cox and Chris Erickson look like brothers from another mother. Dude. They are those dudes. They both had the beard, same height. Yeah. The next time you see those guys, accidentally confuse their names. Yep. Let's get that trend started.
Yeah. Well, do you know who I always get called? Bill Bierman.
Oh, really?
I don't think Billy ever gets called me, but I get called. People always come up and think I'm Bill. Like,
can you grow a mustache?
I'd see. But back in the day, he didn't have the mustache. Now, So, but I can't. I can't grow that thing.
That dude's mustache is legend. That is freaking epic.
Well, it's off now because he's out there working, but he'll have it going pretty soon.
That thing should. It should have its own fan club. That thing. What a mustache.
Cool. All right, man. So what are you going to be? You're going to Academy. I do have to ask, you got any art projects on your back burner? You haven't done any art or anything that I know of art-wise in a while because you've been so busy, but any thoughts of putting that on your radar for the summer?
I did a piece for the patron saint of Chaos and Company podcast, Dr. Dave Berger, recently.
Oh,
that he's got some plans for.
Cool.
No, short of that, I really haven't. No, I haven't. I've got my, I think we talked about it. Well, I came back from team training or something in the fall, and Amanda had surprised me by redoing my office. So I've got my workstation here. I've got my art station there, and I've got a proper workbench over here, heavy duty stuff that I can bang around on. So I'm set up, and I'm looking forward to when getting back from Academy because I do want to do some artwork. It's been a while.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, and by the time we put this out, there'll be a couple belated birthdays. But isn't it? It's Greg Dixon's birthday today, isn't it?
I don't know. I didn't get on the FaceTube.
I think it is. Let me look.
Is it? Look. Well, happy birthday, Dixon.
I'm pretty sure.
I'll see that dude on Saturday. I can.
Where is it?
Buy him a birthday donut.
Let's see. Mr. Dixon. And when was
Jonathan? I think
Jonathan Ballou was yesterday, right?
Yeah, happy birthday, Jonathan.
Yeah, happy birthday to Jonathan Ballou yesterday, which was be belated to both of them. We also, I know he's a pretty good Mr. Chris Erickson's son, Zach Erickson. His birthday was the 5th. Happy birthday to Zach.
That kid looks just like Chip Cox's nephew.
Oh man, but some birthdays going on, so you'll have to celebrate them even though it's a week ahead of Academy. You'll have to celebrate them when you get out there. What about your buddy Josh Spaghetti?
It's his birthday coming up.
It happened the 5th. We missed it. Yeah.
Oh shit! All right, well, I got to write these down, dude. Dixon, Ballou, and Josh. Gotcha.
Yeah,
I got some texts to send.
Yeah, Josh Spaghetti and Ballou yesterday. Chris Saylor was yesterday also.
Oh, I just saw him recently too.
Yeah.
Send him a note.
Oh, happy birthday out to Chris Saylor. Chris was awesome. We were over there. I was over there in January at a chemo, had a training day, worked an exam there that week. So that was super fun. One of your home hills.
Yeah, boy. I got to say it, said it before. I'll say it again. Chris Saylor, Pete Novon, that whole crew at Okemo, man, but they have a great program going.
Yep.
Any instructors who are in the Vail family, if you can sign up and get over there for some of those clinics, like, they will not disappoint.
No. Well, this was fun. It's been a while.
Yep.
We'll have to when you get back from. We'll see when you get back from Academy. Yeah, we'll be getting ready. We'll probably be just about getting into sales, getting some of them flowers out of the greenhouse, get them into people's gardens. So that's always crazy, but hopefully we get some stuff rolling when you get back. Yeah. Maybe a couple fun things. And
sounds good.
We're still working on that big one. I got to get back to Sarah.
Well, we also need to find some benefactors, right? To rent Plattekill.
Yes. Yeah. We got to get a couple of them. Yeah. So we can have a Chaos and Company day at Plattekill. Yeah. Yeah. That'd be pretty sweet.
I watched this documentary one time on Netflix called The Secret. Yeah. And the whole gist of it was like, if you put vibes out into the universe,
they'll come back.
The universe will abide. It was very Lebowski. So I'm just going to start, I'm going to start putting it out there. Plattekill. Chaos and Company Day at Plattekill.
Maybe Lipton will do it.
I'd say he owes us one.
Yeah. Yeah. I say Eric owes us. We'll have to have Eric. Eric's going to be one of them benefactors. Yeah.
Eric, I think you should celebrate Dave and me with a day at Plattekill. He'd be right on that. He's like, let me make a call. You know who I am?
Yeah, right. Oh, man. All right, everybody. This has been a blast, as always. Thanks for listening. I hope everybody's had a great season. If your season's not over, have some great spring skiing. Everybody going to Academy, have fun out there. And already looking forward to next season, as we always do. But we got more podcasts coming to you. We'll keep in touch and keep some things rolling over the summer and try to keep our minds into skiing what we love.
Yep.
This has been The Fall Line with Chaos and Company.